So the Indianapolis Colts are staring down the barrel of a truly pivotal offseason. After years of falling just short, their entire 2026 season, and frankly the jobs of the guys in charge, might just hinge on two huge decisions. Today, we're going to break down the exact blueprint that could, maybe, finally get this team back to playing meaningful football in January. Let's get into it.
First things first, let's just lay out the cold, hard truth. 5 straight years without a playoff appearance. I want you to just let that sink in for a second. 5 years. For a proud franchise like the Colts, with their history, with their fan base, that's not just a slump. That's not a rebuilding phase anymore. No, this is a full-blown crisis. The pressure in that building in Indianapolis has to be absolutely immense, and everybody knows that something fundamental has to change, and it has to change now.
And you know where that pressure lands? Right at the top. This quote from Yardbarker really says it all. This isn't just about getting a few more wins or looking better on paper anymore. For general manager Chris Ballard and for head coach Shane Steichen, the 2026 season is it. It is put up or shut up time. We are talking about a make or break, all or nothing situation. The stakes really could not be any higher. Their jobs are on the line, plain and simple.
Okay, so if you're Chris Ballard, where do you even start to fix this thing? Well, the first critical decision, the first piece of this blueprint, has to address the team's most glaring, most desperate need on the defensive side of the ball, and that is their pass rush. Or maybe I should say, their lack of one. To put it mildly, the Colts are absolutely starved for sacks. We're talking about an anemic pass rush that lets opposing quarterbacks sit back there and just get way too comfortable.
I want you to just look at this number on the screen. 2019. Think about that for a second. That was the last time a Colts player, in this case the veteran Justin Houston, managed to get 10 or more sacks in a single season. I mean, so much has happened in the league since 2019, it feels like a lifetime ago. We are talking about a massive, multi-year drought at arguably the second most important position in football behind the quarterback. You simply cannot win consistently in today's NFL without someone who can get after the passer.
Now, if you want to understand why this is such a huge problem, this table right here tells the entire story. It's a nightmare scenario for a GM. Let's just go down the list. Kwity Paye, a former first-round pick, has been, let's be honest, underwhelming for his draft status. And now, he's a free agent. Samson Ebukam, the veteran they brought in, he's getting older and, you guessed it, also a free agent. Tyquan Lewis is a solid rotational guy, a good depth piece, but he's not a starter. And he's a free agent too. You see the theme here? You got one promising young player in Laiatu Latu who looks like he's on the right track, but he cannot do this all by himself. This isn't a position group that just needs a little tweak or a new signing. This is a room that needs a complete and total overhaul.
So the problem is obvious. It's staring you right in the face. How do you possibly fix a hole this big in your roster? Well, the proposed answer, the solution that could change everything, lies in the 2026 NFL Draft. The Colts absolutely have to find a young, explosive player with some serious, what scouts call juice off the edge. They need a game wrecker.
And, one of the most respected draft analysts out there, the Athletic's Dane Brugler, he's got a specific name circled for the Colts. That name is R. Mason Thomas out of Oklahoma. And as Brugler so perfectly puts it, that juice, that explosive, game-changing ability the Colts have been missing for years, well, that just happens to be Thomas's specialty. It's like a perfect match of need and talent.
So let's really break down what juice actually means when you watch this guy on tape. We're talking about elite, top-tier athleticism. It starts with a lightning-quick first step. The second the ball is snapped, he is exploding out of his stance and putting offensive tackles on their heels immediately. He pairs that with a really violent, aggressive play style. He's not waiting for the action to come to him. Then you see that rare, natural ability to bend and dip his shoulder around the corner without losing a bit of speed. A lot of guys can't do that. And he combines all that raw athleticism with really good, refined hand fighting, which allows him to create immediate separation and get a clean path to the quarterback.
And look, the eye-popping tape is one thing, but the advanced analytics totally back it up. His Pro Football Focus pass rush grade in 2025 was a phenomenal 90.4. Now, to put that into perspective for you, any grade that creeps over that 90.0 threshold is considered truly elite, like cream of the crop, blue chip level. So we're not just talking about a good prospect here. This is a guy who has the potential to be a legitimate, game-changing talent from day one.
And you can see exactly how those traits and that elite grade translate to actual, tangible production on the football field. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. Across his college career, he piled up 17 sacks and 25.5 tackles for loss. And in 2025 alone, his impact was just off the charts. He generated 28 quarterback pressures and 19 QB hurries. But here's the kicker: 4 forced fumbles. That tells you everything. He's not just getting close to the quarterback, he's arriving with bad intentions, impacting the play, and creating those crucial game-swinging turnovers. He is a walking highlight reel.
Okay, so let's shift gears. We've laid out the plan for the defense, but that's only one side of the ball. Let's move over to the offense and tackle the second critical decision facing the Colts this offseason. This one isn't about a glaring hole, but rather a complex question about a veteran player who has become a real fixture in that Indianapolis locker room. I'm talking about the Mo Alie-Cox question.
So, for those who might not know, who exactly is Mo Alie-Cox? Well, on paper, he's a 32-year-old veteran tight end who is, yet again, a pending free agent. But he's so much more than that to this team. He's one of the longest-tenured Colts, a guy who has been there through thick and thin and really embodies the type of player Chris Ballard likes. And his personal journey to even get to the NFL, well, it's pretty incredible.
Seriously, his path to the league is about as unorthodox as it gets. As you can see on this timeline, this whole thing started on the basketball court. He was a star power forward for VCU's basketball team. When a career in the NBA didn't quite work out, he decided to pivot back to football, a sport he hadn't seriously played since high school. The Colts took a flyer on him as an undrafted free agent in 2017, and just a year later, his sheer power and blocking ability made him an indispensable part of the roster. That amazing journey led to him earning a big 3-year, $18 million contract in 2022 to be their starter. But the story doesn't end there, because that's when things got complicated.
Yeah, that big contract actually led to a really crucial discovery about his game and his limitations. So the verdict on Mo Alie-Cox isn't really a debate about whether he's a good player or not. He is. The real question, the key to unlocking his value, is all about finding the absolute perfect role for him to succeed in this offense.
This whole debate really comes down to this slide right here, a tale of two completely different roles. On the left, you have his time as the full-time TE1. When the Colts paid him that big money to be their primary receiving tight end, his receiving numbers actually dropped. He was just miscast in that role. It wasn't his strength. But then look at the right side. In 2025, he re-signed to be the TE2, a blocking specialist playing alongside the rookie Tyler Warren. And he was incredible. He thrived. He had one of his best all-around seasons in years, simply because he was finally put in a position to do what he does best.
And you can really see his immense value when you look at the dirty work, the stuff that doesn't always show up in the box score. In 2025, he earned his highest PFF blocking grade in 5 years. But get this, he was graded as the second best pass blocking tight end in the entire National Football League. That is an elite skill, and his dominance as a blocker had a ripple effect. It completely freed up the rookie, Tyler Warren, to be that flashy receiving threat without having to worry as much about pass protection. It created this perfect partnership and made him an ideal fit for those 2 tight end, 12 personnel packages that Shane Steichen loves to run.
And Zach Hicks from Colts on SI, he just sums it up perfectly here. Mo Alie-Cox is a true unsung hero. He is not the guy who's going to go out there and win you your fantasy football matchup. But the utility, the versatility, and the sheer toughness that he brings to the offense is incredibly valuable. He makes the entire offensive line better. He makes the running game better. He makes the other tight ends better. The argument is crystal clear. You bring him back on another affordable 1-year deal to continue doing that dirty work he excels at.
So, after all that, we come back to the ultimate question. If the Indianapolis Colts can execute this 2-part plan, if they can go out and land a dynamic, disruptive edge rusher like R. Mason Thomas to finally fix their biggest defensive weakness, and if they make the smart move and re-sign a crucial unsung role player like Mo Alie-Cox to perfect their offensive scheme, is this the blueprint? Is this the combination of moves that finally ends that painful 5-year playoff drought and in the process saves some very important jobs in Indianapolis? Let me know what you think.